Welcome to my 3-part CPF series. So last two topics we have covered the CPF Ordinary Account and CPF MediSave Account, and finally we have come to the ultimate, which is a CPF Special Account or SA. Firstly, let's talk about Special Account and what is it for, because really, in my opinion, the Special Account really don't have much uses. It's purely for long-term retirement savings purposes, which means it's a place to stash your money, compound interest until you have reached a sizable retirement fund when you reach 55. So if you want to find out what's the interest rate of the special account and how is it calculated, here is the official definition. It is based on the 12 months average yield of 10-year Singapore Government Securities plus 1% or a 4% annual interest floor rate. And what this means is that whichever number is higher, then they will take that number. For example, from 1st October 2024 to 31st December 2024, you'll realize that CPF have announced the special account interest rate to be 4.14%. So this is much higher than the floor rate, right? I think 4.14%, everyone rejoice, but only lasts for 3 months, not forever, 3 months only. So for those of you who are age 35 and below watching this video, if we look at the CPF allocation table, which I've prepared on my Instagram post, there will be 6% allocation, which means that if your gross salary is $3,000 per month, so 6% multiplied by $3,000, that will be $180 going to your special account per month. Also, if you're below 55 years old, the combined balances of your CPF below $60,000 will earn an additional 1%. Capped at $20,000 at the OA. Then for 55 years old and above, 2% bonus interest will be for your first $30,000 and 1% bonus interest for your next $30,000. All these are relatively standard information and easily found on Google. And if you want to join like-minded people discussing CPF and early retirement topics building your wealth, then join us at close to 18,000 members in the Honey Money SG Telegram group to join your community. But I guess the big question coming to CPF Special Account is what can we invest CPF SA for? Because I know that some of you will feel that 4% in your CPF SA is not enough. You want to achieve higher returns. And I'm here to deliver the bad news that there is not much avenues you can invest with your CPF SA. Because if we look at the list of approved investment schemes, which you can refer to this sheet right here, you realize that most of these instruments is very hard to beat the CPF interest of 4% per annum. And in fact, CPF Special Account is very low risk, right, compared to all these other investable assets. So the opportunity cost of it is around 4 to 5% if you're using your SA to invest. You better make sure that the investment that you use SA to invest can beat at least 4 to 5%, And that is very difficult based on the same risk level. So then the next topic of special account is definitely the full retirement sum, or commonly known as FRS. The full retirement sum SRS is an ideal point of reference of how much one needs in retirement. Like they say, ideal doesn't mean if you below means you very bad or you above means you very good. It's just ideal in CPF point of view. And for a matter of fact, your FRS numbers are already confirmed up to the year of 2027. So don't every time go to Facebook and complain, hey, why this year raise the FRS again? Because they already published the numbers long time ago. But until the year of 2027. Beyond that, we still have to wait for official announcement. And these are the numbers. So then as we come along to CPF strategies, how to really improve or increase your CPF special account balances, I think there are a few strategies. And number one is, of course, the most important one. Retirement sum top-up RSTU to your special account. How much can you RSTU effectively every year? That will be $8,000. And this is a combined cap between the MA and the SA. Because MA is known as Voluntary Contribution to MediSave Account, VCMA. SA is called RSTU, so slightly different term. So these two will share a combined tax relief cap of $8,000, which means that if you do RSTU cap of $8,000 per year, then there's no more tax relief opportunity for you to do VCMA, so you rather not do. But how much tax relief are you expected to get still depends on your income level. For example, if you're 7% income tax bracket, then it will deduct 7% of the chargeable income. The next strategy to boost your SA is to do ordinary account to special account transfer or OA to SA transfer. And yes, I know this is highly debatable because it is irreversible, one-way street. Okay, should you do it or not? Now, I would say that if you do not have any use for your ordinary account funds and you're not intending to buy property in the near term, like the next 5 years, then you can slowly transfer your OA to SA. Slowly, I say slowly because you may regret your decision. And that happened to many people. Also, it's not like you can transfer any amount because you can only transfer up to the full retirement sum, which is $205,800 for the year of 2024. So next year will rise again, the FRS. So for myself, I only did the OA to SA transfer after I planned and finalized for my first property, which was when I signed the agreement for my BTO flat, because I know that I don't need so much OA in the next few years. Then yes, I did transfer OA to SA. Yes, I did it. As a beginner who is starting to invest, here is why you should choose Webull as your trading platform. Number 1, wide range of markets. You can trade and invest in Singapore, US or Hong Kong, China markets, giving you a wide range of options and diversity. Number 2, low commissions. You can trade US stocks and ETFs from just 50 US cents per order with zero platform fees during both regular and extended hours. For Hong Kong and Singapore stocks and ETFs, they also have one of the most competitive pricing as well. And number 3, no foreign exchange fees. Webull does not charge any currency exchange or conversion fees, again lowering your cost of investing. Furthermore, new to Webull users can get all these welcome promo rewards. For Moneybull, when you fund $2,000, you will get a 1.83% interest booster for 30 days, which could generate a return of up to $345 on a $60,000 Moneybull subscription after 30 days. For Fund and Trade promo, fund a minimum of $2,000 by 29th November 2024, 15:59 Singapore time. Complete 3 US buy trades within 30 days from the first deposit and maintain until 31st December 2024. You will get a $60 cash voucher. If you fund a minimum of $10,000 by 29th November 2024, 15:59 SG time, complete 5 US buy trades within 30 days from the first deposit and maintain until 31st January 2025, you will get a $350 cash voucher. There is an options trading promo for both new and existing users where if you trade a minimum of 100 US options contracts monthly, the fees will be reimbursed when you fulfill the criteria. Also, Webull does not charge any platform fees for US trades. Start trading with Webull by using my exclusive link or scan the QR code right here to get your Webull account today. Last strategy to boost your SA is called the Supercharging strategy. And how this works is a two-step process. Because firstly, you must get to the basic healthcare sum in the Medisave account first. You remember our previous video on Medisave, we talked about the basic healthcare sum, right? Because once you have reached the basic healthcare sum, whether by your mandatory contributions or your voluntary contributions, the excess Medisave account contributions will flow to the special account first if your special account is not at full retirement sum yet. So what this means is that you really want to fill up your MA, your Medisave account, as high as possible, as soon as possible, until the BHS. Okay, BHS every year also will change. But once you fill it up, then the overflow, the mandatory contributions or voluntary contributions to your MA will go to the special account. And that's why it's called the supercharging strategy. To give you a very simple math calculation, currently if you're below 35, you have 8% contribution to your MA, right, based on mandatory employee contribution. And you have 6% in your mandatory SA contribution. So if your Medisave account is already maxed out at BHS, right, so your mandatory contributions of the MA, 8%, will flow to the SA. So 8 plus 6%, that is 14%, right? So 14% instead of the usual 6% to your SA. That is how supercharging works. More than double every month going into your special account every month. So this is on the whole basis that it's a two-step process, right? Hit the basic healthcare sum in the Medisave account first, and then the Medisave contributions will then take care of the special account, causing the supercharge strategy. But next up, I really want to address the problem of year 2025 because it was announced in budget 2024 that the special account is finally going to close in year 2025. And yes, I did some videos on that, received a lot of responses and feedback, and you know, everyone is really sad about special account closing because of a certain loophole, which I should not mention again. But if you haven't heard of the news yet, for those of you who turn 55 and above in year 2025, your special account will be no more. Bye-bye, gone. And where are the funds going to go to? All your special account funds are going to go to your retirement account first, up to the full retirement sum. And the primary purpose of this is to really boost the retirement payouts, especially when you start your CPF life. Then where does the excess special account funds go to? They will go to your ordinary account, earning you 2.5% instead of the original 4% in the SA. So to clarify, you can still withdraw your OA if you have met your FRS after 55, but no more withdrawing from SA anymore. No more keeping it at the 4% like a high yield savings account, you know. 4% withdraw every time you like. Which also means there is no more CPF shielding strategy to be discussed because this has been popularized by many people, including myself. And the shielding strategy will go away with the SA account closure. No more, bye-bye. So I will not discuss a shielding strategy anymore. But if you ask me, is hitting the full retirement sum in your special account still relevant? I would say yes, because whatever amounts above the full retirement sum can be withdrawn after your RA is set up and also after you have turned 55. So age is a very important factor when you are deciding whether you want to top up CPF. So I know that the special account is quite complicated and there will be a lot of frequently asked questions. So I'll take some questions and address them in this video. Starting with question 1. If special account has reached FRS, where does the mandatory contributions go to? Now, assuming you have hit full retirement sum, even in your special account, your mandatory SA contributions will still go to the SA, okay? No change. In fact, it will go above the full retirement sum, which is my status right now, right? You can go above the full retirement sum one, no problem. Question number 2, can I still do RSTU after SA has reached FRS? Simple answer is no, because full retirement sum is like a cap for your RSTU. So once you have reached full retirement sum, you cannot do any more RSTU, which means you have no more tax relief opportunity. Question number 3, if SA has reached FRS, MA has reached BHS, where do the contributions go to? So meaning that your Medisave account has reached the basic healthcare sum and then your SA has reached the full retirement sum, right? So now, where do your contributions go to? Firstly, OA still go to OA, no change. SA still go to SA, also no change. But your MA, previously it go to the SA, right? But now SA is full, so MA must go where? Go to OA. Okay, again, OA go to OA, SA go to SA, MA go to OA after both full retirement sum and BHS is met. Question number 4. If SA already hit FRS and FRS number increase next year, can I still do RSTU next year? Of course no lah. You know why? Because next year when the FRS number increase, it also means your interest from your SA will also cover the increment one. If you don't believe me, the annual increment is around 3.5%, but your base interest for SA is 4%, which means every year when you receive your CPF annual interest in the SA, it will more than cover the CPF FRS for the next year already. So there's no more tax relief opportunity for you to do RSTU. And I've experienced this for more than 2 years already. So then, what does it really tell you about the special account? It means that once you have reached the full retirement sum in your special account, you really don't need to worry anymore because the annual increment does not matter to you. Your interest will more than cover the annual increment in FRS, which is why those of you who keep complaining every year increase FRS one, then you just hit it one time, then you don't need to complain already. Everyone happy, okay? Whether they increase or not, it's not your pasar, not your problem anymore because the interest will cover. And yes, I know that this video is not in-depth enough for the FRS. I still owe some of you the FRS plus 1 video. So yes, I'm still working on it. Give me some time to come up because I'll explain more in depth of the FRS. So if you want that video, comment FRS plus 1. And if you really want to check, other than special account, the Medisave account got what use, how to use, and what are the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, then check out my Medisave account video right here.